Hello and welcome to my channel. It's the Network Specialist. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so that you know each and every time I upload a video. All commentary is alleged and in my very own opinion, used for entertainment purposes only. Today I will be doing a recap of Married to Medicine, Season 11, Episode 5, Blow Up on the Ranch. Hey, Mama Bees, thank you so much for being here. Hey, Sharon Godbolt, thank you so much for being here. And guys, could you put a one in the chat if you can hear me? Mic check, mic check. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. All right. Thank you so much, Mama Bees. So let's get right on into it. Give me 1 second. Go ahead. Just so that I can see on top of things. Okay. So the first scene picks right up with the photo shoot. And, I do have to say that I did like Toya being in charge, of the photo shoot, getting the girls together. But what I didn't like was Toya walking around with all of that cellulite showing with those booty shorts on. Now, I have heard that Beyonce has cellulite as well, but, at least she has the sense enough to wear stockings up under her booty shorts to hide her cellulite. Shame on you, Toya, because you should be wearing clothes that are appealing to your body type. Okay. So, I know Toya thought she was doing a damn thing, but she could have put some stockings on or something to hide, all of that cellulite. But anyways, moving right along. So Toya duties was cut short when the creative director showed up and she took over being in charge of the photo shoot, which I'm sure the other girls loved because Toya was being a bit annoying. Since she was in charge for once, she definitely took advantage of that and really got on the girls' nerves. Okay. So Dr. Contessa tries very hard, but at the end of the day, she cannot dress. I'm just so sorry. She said her shoes cost her over $200, but like, where would she be able to wear those shoes again? They really look like stripper heels. They were super high. They were red. She could barely walk in them. And then I'm not sure if that was a bathing suit, bodysuit, but it was not giving Contessa. Like, you really need a wardrobe designer or somebody to help you out. No shade. Hey, Soundcheck Annette, thank you so much for being here. And her outfit was just too revealing. Like, it was really a distraction from what everybody else had going on. So I'm going to be honest to say that none of the ladies' outfit, except for maybe Simone's, was a good look, honestly. But it was fun watching them make a fool out of themselves trying to do this photo shoot. That was very funny. Okay. So Toya wanted to be messy as usual. So she paired Sweet Tea and Dr. Heavenly together for the photo shoot because they both look very similar. They had on, the jean outfits. So, they made jokes about the fact that they had a lot in common because their outfits did look very similar. And if you look at my thumbnail picture, they look like they can almost be sisters. Okay. But I did like the fact, that even though they felt uncomfortable with a little help from the expert and the creative director, they were able to play nice. And all of the photos actually turned out very nice. And it was very refreshing, to watch them try and play nice. So again, the photo shoot was an overall big success. So in the next scene, back in ATL, Cecil and his two sons are at their condo, and Cecil was trying to teach their lazy ass sons how to cook. And like usual, Cecil was doing all of the work and they were doing all of the complaining. I just can't wait for their sons to start dating so that they can get their act together. I do believe that that's the only way that they're going to change. Once they meet a young lady that they would like to potentially date, I think they'll start cleaning up and, just grow up a bit because they are very immature and very spoiled, might I add. So in the next scene, Dr. Damon and Alara was back in ATL with also her oldest son, and they were at a specialty shop picking up some things for Alara's apartment back at college at FAMU. And Sharon says, in my opinion, they looked good together, but Toya was being messy by pairing them together. That's the reason why I made that photo my thumbnail, Sharon. They looked great together. Like I said, they look like they could be sisters. It was one of the nicest photos that was taken that day. Sweet Tea and Dr. Heavenly pairing up for that photo shoot. And Mama B says the boys are spoiled. They are spoiled. And I think that a lot of that comes from Cecil. Simone tries her best not to spoil these boys, but it seems like, and you would think it would be the other way around, but it seems like Cecil is just letting the boys do whatever they want to do, and he really is spoiling those boys. So while they were at the specialty shop picking up some things for Alara, Damon and his son shared a beautiful moment when his son told him that he wanted to be just like him when he grows. You know, he said he wanted to be just like his father, not when he grows up, because technically he's already grown. He just finished school, so he's doing some internships at his mother's doctor's office, but he's actually going to be, working out of state in another location. But when he told his dad that he wanted to be like him, his dad just instantly burst out into tears. Like that was such a beautiful moment. And like, you know, um, Dr. Damon said, like, there's nothing better than hearing your child tell you that they want to be like you when they grow up. And Dr. Heavenly seemed to be a little bit jealous, because I guess her kids has never said that to her, but we can all see why her kids wouldn't say that to her. So in scene 4, which I love the way that while the girls were at the photo shoot, they showed scenes of all of the guys with their kids. So I thought that was really nice. So in the next scene, Dr. Eugene and his two sons, Avery and Ashton, was at a place where they could make their own cologne. He thought it would be a good idea because when they're at the mall, they always want to go and smell the cologne, especially his oldest son, because apparently Avery's sudden interest in cologne might have something to do with the fact that he's really into girls at this point. And, I like the fact that Toya is very open with her boys. She, has an open line of communication because she says that she wants her boys to be able to come to her and talk to her about anything. And I totally agree with Toya on that. And you just never know when your sons are going to be, kind of girl crazy. I mean, you can just never predict that and which ones will be like that. So it looks like her oldest son is already into girls, and apparently he already has a girlfriend. So the next scene was back at the Dude Ranch, and the ladies got on their golf cart and headed to some undisclosed location for food, drinks, and a show. The beautiful lady who helped them earlier with the photo shoot put on a Beyonce show for the ladies, and she did not disappoint. She even gave them some advice and told them to love on each other, because they're all they got. And good friends are hard to find. And when you find a group of ladies that you can share the same space with, you really should try to get along. Okay. Then Toya called everyone out for their fake apologies. So they moved over to the table to continue the conversation and hopefully get some food at some point because at this point, I did not see them eat anything since the photo shoot. So at this point, the ladies were almost hangry. So I was hoping that the food would come soon. So at that point, all hell broke loose. Something about Dr. Contessa asking Dr. Heavenly if she thinks that her husband is abusive, and Dr. Heavenly was saying yes. And Sharon said Dr. Eugene and Toya's sons are a perfect combination between the both of them. I totally agree. Um, to me, mm, they are a good mix of both mom and dad, but to me, they look a lot more like Toya for whatever reason. But they're definitely a lot like mom and dad. So Dr. Heavenly always has to bring the husbands into the equation, which always starts unnecessary drama. So Dr. Contessa clapped back with a vengeance and told Dr. Heavenly the only friend she has is her daughter Alara. She tries to buy people's affection. She brought her daughter a beauty salon store and she didn't even want it. She didn't want to work there. So I haven't heard anything else about that beauty supply store. So I'm pretty sure they had to close it because there was no one to run the shop. And I also heard that there wasn't a lot of um products in the shop anyways. So it was definitely Dr. Heavenly stepping outside of her comfort zone, trying to, I guess, create some type of job for her daughter, but it did not go over well. And then she also said that her kids don't like her husband don't like her. That's why he sleeps in the basement. Contessa was throwing out insults left and right. And I almost thought that they were at a point where they were going to just like smooth things over and move on. But as usual, Dr. Heavenly said something that pissed Contessa off. And then she went below the belt. Not really when you're dealing with Heavenly, nothing is off limits. And I'm saying that because, I said that that Dr. Heavenly went, I'm sorry, Contessa went below the belt and, clap back at Dr. Heavenly. But when you're dealing with Heavenly, nothing is below the belt because she's just such a trash ass individual. I don't have to worry about She also said to Dr. Heavenly, I don't have to worry about no mixed babies here with the possible name of Kimes. Yes, y'all, she went there. So basically, she was kind of low key repeating what Mariah said about the fact that Dr. Damon likes white women. Okay. We all have heard the rumors that Dr. Damon likes, snow bunnies. Sorry, not sorry. I don't blame Dr. Contessa. Sometimes you got to get gutter with hood rats like Dr. Heavenly. Okay. And all Heavenly had to say was her husband was abusive. Where is that rah rah you be having when you're online? It's like when Heaven's online, she goes gutter, but when she's in people's faces, she clams up and don't really know what to say. So at that point, Quad went over to the bar and said, can I just have a shot of anything? Like these ladies drove Quad to drink on an empty stomach, might I add, because they still haven't been brought their food. So Dr. Heavenly came back with Kiss My Ass, Your Husband's Abusive, and everybody saw it. Now, I will say this. Give me 1 second, guys. Somebody's at the door. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Just a delivery. Now, where was I? Now, I will say this, the way that Dr. Contessa is so cut up and tall, and with her being in the military, I think she can handle her own when it comes to her husband. If we're, keeping it real. If anything, her husband might be insecure because he is intimidated by her, you know, in my opinion, because she definitely does not give weak woman to me. Then somebody, I think it was Heavenly's boob popped out, and some of the ladies surrounded Heavenly to help her put her boobies back in because they were definitely making a grand entrance. Like, girl, you didn't feel the air? That was so funny. Dr. Heavenly says that her itties are like Toya's house. They just keep moving all over the place. And it's the shade for me. Although I haven't heard, you know, I haven't heard anything about Toya and Eugene moving recently. So I'm hoping that they're still in the same place that they were probably maybe like a year or so ago. Hey, Cece, thank you so much for being here. And Sharon says, I'm glad Dr. Contessa said that Heavenly is always talking about everybody's husband, but when they talk about Dr. Damon, she gets in her feelings. In my opinion, she needs to go. Exactly. Like she can't take the heat. So Dr. Heavenly did get a lick back when she told Contessa, Sweet Tea, her Contessa and Sweet Tea's bond together because both of their husbands ain't shit. So she did go there and she definitely dragged Sweet Tea into the conversation that she had nothing to do with. And even though Toya initiated all of this drama, Toya just sat down and never got up during the whole situation. Toya said, "My job is done," which are not her words, they're mine, but she just sat there and let the girls fight. She said she was not getting up. So Heavenly went back to her old roots with the Yo Mama clapbacks and called out Dr. Contessa and said that her mom was stupid, who has been deceased since 2010. And at that point, Contessa lost it. Those are fighting words, in my opinion. Contessa said, "Square up, ho," and Dr. Heavenly was calling for security, even though she want to play badass, with all of her messy comments to the ladies. When it got to a situation where she knew that Contessa was about to get in that ass, she wanted to yell for security. And Mama B said Dr. Heavenly deserved everything Contessa brought her way. I cracked up when Contessa went for Heavenly's ass. Heavenly was scared. She really was scared. Like, and she's being made a mockery on these YouTube screed for the fact that she called for security after initiating this brawl. Just checking the comments. And it was like, who did you say was being abused again, Dr. Heavenly? Because Dr. Contessa, it looks to me like she don't play. So during this whole debacle, Dr. Jackie got knocked to the floor and Sweet Tea extended a hand to help her up. So the next time these biatches need to eat first before they start talking, because when you let yourself get hangry, all bets are off. And Sharon says, if you are black, mamas and children are off limits, period. That part. And at this point, Heavenly should know this by now. So that was pretty much the end of this episode. I hope these ladies were, able to get some food behind the scene because after the fight broke out, they all start packing up and going to their little carts to go back to their rooms at that point. And at that point, I was hungry for those ladies. And I'm just curious to know why didn't the food come a little bit sooner? Because I think if those ladies were busy eating, they wouldn't have had all that time to start these arguments. So hopefully, the rest of the trip went well, but of course, we'll have to wait till next week to see how that all plays out because, I'm hoping that I'm pretty sure. Well, you know what? I take that back. Jackie grabbed Dr. Heavenly and walked her over to the cart. And Dr. Jackie actually, shed some tears because I think she's just over the fact that she kind of took Heavenly up under her wing and they became good friends. But, Heavenly insists on, getting into arguments with everybody. And by her being Heavenly's only real friend, she's the one that has to always step in to try to defend Heavenly. And I think Dr. Jackie is really getting tired of that. So hopefully, Dr. Heavenly will see that she's the one that's wreaking so much havoc within this group. Like somebody really needs to sit her down and have a talk to her. Hopefully, it'll be her husband because honestly, I think that he's the only one that will be able to get through to Heavenly, because she doesn't listen to anybody else but her husband. So after watching this episode, hopefully he will feel some kind of way and he will call Heavenly out on her BS because it's getting kind of old. Like every single episode, you're the one that's getting into it with somebody. Even though Quad is supposed to be her good friend, she's even throwing Quad up under the bus with lies. So at this point, if Heavenly doesn't change, she's not going to have anybody to film with. You know, Obviously, they're going to have their group ventures where everybody has to show up. But as far as individual scenes, like Heavenly is running out of options when it comes to having somebody to actually film with her. And Sharon says that she agrees. Like this show is getting so messy. Like I was really into this show because in my opinion, it does show black excellence. There's not a lot of shows that you can watch that, is centered around doctors, black doctors at that. So, I really have high hopes for this show, but I do not want this show to become so raunchy and ratchet like some of those other reality TV shows out there. So hopefully they call Dr. Heavenly to the carpet and make her take some type of accountability for her actions because it takes a lot to plan these trips. And I know they want to see some good, wholesome shade, which is okay. But when it gets to the point where people are about ready to fight, that's a little bit too much. That means that somebody is going below the belt, and it's usually Heavenly. And we've, you know, it's been a long time since Heavenly threw out her Yo Mama jokes. So I'm not sure if that's what she falls back on when she doesn't have a clapback or whatever the case may be. Because, I thought we were kind of past the Yo Mama jokes. It's really childish. And, at this point, most of those ladies have already lost their mom. So that shouldn't even come up in the conversation at all. So, I guess that's what Heavenly falls back on when she doesn't have anything else to say. So, guys, that's going to be pretty much it for my recap of this week's episode. Um, I'm going to say that this week's episode was probably about a 7.5 or 8. I did like the fact that, Dr. Contessa was not standing down and, she was coming at Dr. Heavenly with the same vengeance that she gives to other people because somebody needs to really put Dr. Heavenly in her place. I feel like she continues to do what she does because nobody ever calls her out. And that's pretty much what Dr. Contessa was saying, that everybody always makes excuses for Dr. Heavenly. And I feel the same way. Like somebody really needs to hold her feet to the fire. She should not be allowed to just say whatever she wants about people's husbands, people's kids, or whatever the case may be, and they just sweep the situation under the rug. And Soundcheck Annette says that she agrees as well. So, yeah, I mean, it's just like no matter where Dr. Heavenly is, whether she's on her show, whether she's on these YouTube streets, Instagram, just social media as a whole, like she's always slandering people's name, but gets so sensitive when people give her that same energy. She's always so sensitive. So again, it's looking like this show is, starting to be just centered around Dr. Heavenly and, the messy shade. Now, what Toya is doing this season, it is a little messy, but that's fun shade what Toya is doing. What Dr. Heavenly is doing is very gutter and below the belt and should not be tolerated. And even Andy called Dr. Heavenly out on, I guess, Watch What Happens Live, and she just played it off, as usual, like she's done nothing wrong. But, I'm ready to see some repercussions, to be honest, when it comes to Dr. Heavenly, because to me, she's looking like another version of Carlos King, like no limits. So I'm hoping that, the network holds her accountable because, Dr. Contessa just came back to the show and I'm pretty sure this is not the look that she's going for. And Sharon says, if you're living in a glass house, don't throw no stones. Exactly, Sharon. Like she has no room to talk about nobody, especially nobody's husband, if we're being honest. She has no room because if she thinks that, Dr. Contessa's husband is abusive and if he's cheating on her, whatever the case may be, like we've heard some of the same things about you. Maybe not the fact that your husband is abusive, but we have definitely heard that he's a cheater. And we also heard that he doesn't like you. That's why he sleeps in the basement. So you really need to, refrain from talking about people's husband before somebody really comes out with some receipts about yours. Okay? Because I'm sure you won't like that. So now that we have almost been here for 30 minutes, there's a couple of other things that, I just want to touch on now that we're through with our review, like the fact that Melanie Cherie dropped her new movie um, on yesterday. So I guess the movie came out on yesterday, and she was at home on Christmas watching the movie with her kids, which was extra special because we all seen what dropped. I think it was the day before. So, the first time she came on and she went live, it didn't seem like the kids was there. I'm not sure, but when she went live again, the kids were there and they seemed to be really enjoying their Christmas day. And Mama B says that she saw it. So yes, a video dropped of Coleslaw's son, squaring up at Little Sugar Mama. And all I can say is thank God we got proof because we all know that it was already in the court documents that she was allowing her kids to bully the four-piece nuggets. So now we have solid evidence, thanks to Coleslaw always telling on herself that that's exactly what's going down when the kids are around her and her kids. And when I seen that, even though I don't think that I could like Martell any less. He's just such a trash ass ninja. But when I seen that, it made me like him even less, if that's even possible. Because what man is going to allow, you know, I know that's his son, but what man would allow his son to bully his little girls? First of all, you should be teaching your sons not to even hit girls, but to sit there and allow, because I'm sure he was somewhere close by. If they were out of town, on their little trip, he couldn't have been far. So he had to be somewhere in the vicinity when all of this was taking place. And the fact that he allowed that to go down, and the fact that he hasn't come out to say anything about the situation, makes me feel like he was okay with her releasing that video to obviously get up under Mel's skin, which is never going to happen. And Sharon says, I have watched it too. And Soundcheck Annette says, I watched a movie last night and I really enjoyed it. That's awesome, Soundcheck Annette. I have it already set up on my TV. I'm just waiting to get off work before, I can actually watch the movie, but I'm definitely going to watch that. And I think I was able to locate Sunny's movie as well. And I think it's called Unresolved on Tubi as well. So I plan on watching both of those movies tonight because I really do want to support these Black women who are really out there doing the damn thing, producing movies, playing in movies, whatever the case may be, showing Black excellence. So I do plan to watch both of those movies. And Mama B says that she enjoyed it too. Awesome, awesome, good for Melody. That's so awesome. So yes, I have it pulled up, so I will definitely be watching. And I think it's called Married Mansion. What is it called, guys? Um, Married Mansion or something like that. Either way, I have it pulled up on my TV. So I will be watching that movie. So make sure you guys go out and check out Melody's new movie that dropped on yesterday. And let me see if I can just pull it up to make sure that I have the correct name, because if you're watching the replay, I definitely want you guys to be able to go and check it out. It's called Marriage Mansion. Okay, so definitely check that out. Melody Cherie's new movie that dropped on yesterday on Tubi. Yep, Marriage Mansion. Give me 1 second, guys. And I also wanted to let you guys know that when I did my subscriber appreciation live, we had so much fun with the, what do you call it? I'm trying to multitask here, guys. When we did the trivia on my subscriber appreciation live. So we are going to be doing some trivia on tomorrow, on Friday, since it is Friday, the last day of the week, before the weekend. So I want to have a little bit of fun tomorrow. So we are going to be doing some trivia questions, and we are going to have a little cash reward or whatever. So make sure that you are here tomorrow at 2 o'clock to join in the trivia. So that's what we will be doing on tomorrow. I won't be reviewing anything. We'll just be doing trivia. So, guys, that's going to do it for this week's recap of Married to Medicine. And I thank you guys so much for watching. And if you have not done so already, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and especially if you're watching the replay, subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. And thank you guys so much for watching, and bye for now.